Hi, I want to make this video because some things piss me off. They piss me off so much. I've seen so many videos in the recent weeks of people talking about how manifestation, that's just all a lie, that's pseudoscience, don't listen to that, don't follow that. And of course, it doesn't come from people who have tried it and they maybe had some weird results and they're just saying, okay, guys, like this works, but please be cautious. Please, uh, you know, be careful with what you are wishing for. Be careful with what you're doing because things don't always go exactly as you planned them out, right? No. This type of content doesn't come from that type of people. It's just people who have never ever tried it, ever. They see hundreds of people talk about it. Hundreds of people say, this happened, that happened, I manifested this, whatever. You have also so many successful people, celebrities, authors, actors, people who talk basically about scripting, about the law of assumption, everything, like how they used it to get to the point where they are right now. And you just have those people that they hear all of this and then they're like, nah, no, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Which, look, okay, that's fine. That is, you do you, basically. If you want to believe in it, if you don't, that's fine. That's on you. I mean, even if you don't believe in it, it does influence your life. You're still manifesting. You're manifesting every day of your life, whether you believe in it or not. But what boggles my mind, I cannot understand it. That is what pisses me off. You have a platform. People who have a platform, why would you use that platform to tell potentially millions of people to not try this? You haven't tried it, you don't know anything about it, but you just think that it's stupid, that it doesn't work, and then you use your precious time on earth and you use your important platform to put out a video where you tell people, no, don't ever try it. These are like people who potentially might stumble upon manifestation and they might try it and that might change their whole life. But no, you're just stopping the process. You're like, don't bother, don't try it. Why would you do this? Really, seriously, why would you do it? Why are you stopping people? Why are you preventing people from finding happiness, from making their dreams come true? Why would you do that? Why would you use your platform for something like that? It honestly can be like a whole rant on its own. I don't know if you've noticed, but the internet at this point, half of the YouTubers, whatever, the creators, the famous people, they're they're not creators, they're not artists, they're not talking about something that can help you, they're not trying to use their platform to actually better the society, better the people. They're just being negative, just negative. That's all it is. You go on any website and it's just negativity. You just, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like this movie, but also, like, it's always, this is the worst, this is the worst person, this is the worst movie, oh my god, this is horrendous, like this exaggeration and this negativity. What is happening? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are you using your time to just literally, like, your whole YouTube channels, your whole TikTok pages are just bashing people? And these are people that want to be successful, right? And that always makes me, it kind of doesn't make sense in my head. If you want to be successful, you probably want to be successful in those circles. Why are you bashing all the people who are in those circles? How are you, how, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm not talking like about the people who actually just expose bad things. You know exactly what I'm talking about. People who just make stuff like this huge big deal. Oh my god, someone said this word in a particular way with a particular tone in an interview, and oh my god, they're the worst. They're just the worst in the whole industry. They're insufferable or whatever. Why are you doing this? Anyway, yeah, like I said, I can talk about that for hours, but this is not, we're not doing that now. What I want to talk about is if you've thought about, maybe you've heard about manifesting, maybe you're on the fence, does it work, does it not? I just want to explain it in very simple terms that I think can help everyone, no matter what you believe in, no matter how your brain functions. I think that you can just pick a way from which, a lens from which you can see it, and it can make sense for you. What I mean is, if you are into the universe, into spirituality, if you've always been like that, you've just grown up and you've thought about the elements, the planets, whatever, then manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, all of those things will not sound bad to you. They will not raise some flags. You will not think, okay, that is pseudoscience. You actually understand that kind of language. So you will be attracted to that. But if that doesn't work for you, if that is just hard for you to understand, it's hard for you to even get into it, then you can also look at it as this is just psychology. This is plain psychology. This is how your brain works. And with manifesting, what you're trying to do is you're trying to rewire your brain. Like your brain, the thoughts that you have in your head, they're not yours. You weren't born with those words, with those phrases that you're saying. Your parents, the way that they spoke to you and the way that they just in general talked about themselves, about the world, what you saw growing up, this is actually your thoughts. So they are from other people, they stick. So, for example, if you have a parent who is emotionally abusive, who is neglectful, who had anger issues, who wasn't good at communication, you might have grown up and whatever happened, you were just used to hearing how stupid you are. Why are you not feeling guilty? I feel ashamed of you. Just very, very negative things. These things stick in your head. And at some point, time passes by and you don't understand how much they affect you. But at some point you're 25, you're far away from home. Maybe you are not even talking with your parents if the situation was very bad, and yet you do something. Maybe let's say you're typing something on the computer and you make a mistake and your first reaction is, oh my god, I'm so stupid, I can't do anything right. You walk outside, you trip, but oh my god, everybody's looking at me, oh my god, I'm so stupid. You look at yourself in the mirror, oh my god, I'm so ugly, oh my god, this is so ugly, and this is big, and this is that. You know, what you're trying to do with the affirmations, with the manifestations, is basically get all of that anxiety, get all of those negative thoughts, negative beliefs, and try to reshape them. Slowly but surely, you try to find positive affirmations, you try to find positive words to describe yourself, to describe the world, to describe your potential, and you try to focus on the world as not this bad, hostile environment. If you've grown up in an abusive household, you do feel like the world is hostile because your parents were very hostile, and you end up believing that there's nothing you can do. You can never do something and be perfect and be loved. Love is conditional in your family, and every small mistake can lead to your parent just screaming and yelling at you and calling you things, and like every small mistake feels like a catastrophe, like a super big thing. What happens is you end up feeling like this is how life is. You end up feeling like you're not in control, your actions don't have consequences that you can easily predict, that you can see. No, you're not in control, nothing is predictable. There is some evil force just not lucky, and bad things happen. And whatever you do, like that is just your life. You have a bad life and bad things will happen. What you're trying to do when you manifest is basically let go of all of those beliefs and focus on the universe or God, whatever you believe in. You focus on a higher power and you try to understand that your existence is not worthless. There is a reason why you exist. If there wasn't a reason, if you didn't have a purpose, then you would have been, So you try to live your life, you try to put out your dreams, you try to take actions that align with what you want from life, and you're believing that everything will make sense, that everything will work out, that there is someone who is watching you and is already building that for you. You may not be seeing the results right now, you may think that nothing is happening, but what is actually happening is just you're on the road. You're on the road. You're not seeing it, you're not seeing the result because you're not at the end, but that doesn't mean that the universe is not working right now to give you that end, to bring you to that thing that you want. Another thing I want to say is you can also look at it as neuroscience. For example, there is this therapy, I think it's neurotherapy or neurofeedback, something like that. They put sensors on your scalp, I think 4 or 8, I'm not really sure. It's actually very fascinating. When I learned about it, it sounds like magic. It honestly sounded like magic to me. But basically, you play a game, like an actual game. And let's say the game is you're driving a car and you have to keep the car on the road. What the psychologist is doing, you can talk with them, or if you're one of those clients you don't really want to talk, that is okay too. They're not really telling you like what they're doing explicitly. They're just telling you, just go and play the game. You have to win the game, you have to be good at the game, so you have to keep the car on the road. But you're playing the game with your mind, with your emotions. What the psychologist is doing, they're monitoring your brainwaves. And what happens is when your anxiety spikes, when you get stressed, the car goes off the road. And you have to train yourself to basically stay calm, to go back to that state of calmness so the car is driving. And it's very cool. To me that sounds like sci-fi, like it's from some movie, but it's amazing. And it does work. Like after 4 or 5 sessions, depending on the problem, if you have like severe issues, you may need to go for longer. But usually like after 4 or 5 sessions, people just, they feel completely different because you're literally rewiring the brain. This time actually like using machines to rewire it, not just trying therapy and like talking, not trying affirmations on your own. Basically that is therapy on your own, in a way you could say. Instead of that, you're just directly working with the brain, with your body. You're reshaping those patterns. And basically what happens is all of those bad thoughts that you have, that you're not worth it, that you're not competent, that you're not going to succeed, that you're stupid, all of these things, when do they come up? They come up when you feel stressed, when you feel anxious, when you start to feel bad, when you start to feel like you're not safe. That is when all of those things come up and you feel insecure and like you're not competent, like you're not smart. What you're doing with the neurotherapy is you're trying to make your brain automatically go to a calm reaction, to a calm mindset. So when the anxiety spikes, instead of you having to manually try to tell yourself that everything is fine, that you're in control, everything, all of that, what happens is it's now an automatic process because it's sort of like it's a memory. It remembers that you did play with those emotions when you were playing the game and you train them, and now whenever that anxiety spikes, now your brain knows how to lower it automatically. So it's very fascinating. But yeah, you can also look at it from that lens. If you're more into science, you can look at it as neuroscience. Psychology is also science, but you can say that some parts of it are scientific and some parts of it some people see as more philosophical, things like that. So I think they're just, there is a way for everyone to understand this thing. Also, the other thing, but that definitely would not help you. I don't think that it will help you if you don't believe in just, the universe and things like that. But you can also look at it as this is God. You're using prayers, you're asking for guidance, you're being grateful. A lot of the affirmations, for example, they're about believing in yourself, believing in life, and being grateful for everything. To end this, I want to say that personally, I know that manifestations work, but I actually do want to say please be careful. Please be careful what you're wishing for because you can make a ton of mistakes. You can put yourself in a situation where now you have to wonder how to get out of there if you're not very careful with exactly what you're wishing for. My stories. The first one, I think it's very clear. Like that was my mistake on many many levels. Like it really isn't even about manifestation, the way manifestation works, and that is why something not favorable happened. It was more of a, I guess, be cautious about what your mindset is. I guess that is the best way to say it. Because what I manifested, yes, some parts of it were things that I wanted, right? But some parts of it, I didn't want them. I didn't want them. I was manifesting from a place of how can I make my mom tolerate me more? How can I make my mom like me more? What are the things that she wants from me for me? What are the things that, if these things are happening in my life, she will sort of like get off my back and just tolerate me more? And the things happened. The things happened. I wrote a letter. I still keep that letter. I wrote one letter that was just to the universe. Just, I don't know what I said, dear universe or something like that. And I just wrote down about my life as if I'm already living it. And I wrote down exactly what I'm studying, where I'm living, how my days go, all those things. And I believe I wrote another letter. I think I was trying to release some things. I think it was about some people in my life who, on paper, they were my friends. On paper, they were close friends to me. But I had this feeling as if, yeah, I do love them dearly, but I do not think that their love for me is pure. It was one of those type of friends where you go out with them, there is this very weird energy. The language that they use, the way that they look at you, you kind of start to wonder, do they even like me? Because I'm sensing something weird here. I don't know if it's some jealousy or if it's their ego. They see me as something lower than them, but there is something wrong here. I do not like how they're treating me. They're still here, they're still my friends, they still want my attention, they still want to go out with me, but they're not actually treating me as if that's the case. And it's this very confusing state. And I believe I wrote a letter about that. What I basically did was just I poured out my feelings, and I basically just, it's not that I wanted from the universe to like, get rid of these people. I don't want those people, right? Because I did love those people. But I was asking for clarity. I was asking, if things are actually bad, if these people think something bad about me or whatever, I let them go. I just let them go. I let the universe or God do its thing. I'll just remove them from my life. Or if I'm wrong, if maybe they're just going through something on their own and they're acting weird, then again, just give me that clarity. I'll let go of those feelings. I won't hold a grudge. I give them to you, and I want everything to be okay, whichever way it has to go, whether I lose them or I keep them. But this situation that was happening at the moment was just causing a lot of confusion and pain, and it didn't feel nice, and I wanted to let it go. And after a few months, every single thing happened. People, I lost them little by little. It wasn't like an instant thing. It wasn't, all of them at once or something like that. Like some people it took 2 months, some people it took 3 months, for some people it took a longer time because I was resisting it. Because I guess I really hope that things would just be fine. Not that I actually want them gone from my life. Like I was resisting it a lot, and it took me some time to accept it, so that delayed the process. But all the other things, they did happen. But I ended up in this place where I was like, well, I cool, but I don't want that. I don't want that. That's like my mom's dream. That's not me. And that wasn't, a nice place. Like I still had fun time. Like life was still good, but it just felt like it felt like I entered the wrong room, and now I'm so awkward and so stiff. I'm just not moving. I'm so scared to just go check out the other rooms. And as soon as I had a new opportunity, a different thing where I had to choose, do I do this instead, or do I continue that thing that I already started? But if I choose this, then I lose this. It was just instant. I was like, yeah, yeah, I don't need that. I'll go explore the new things, because it was never mine. It was never mine. But you see, even in those moments, even with those things, even if that is not like your heart truly desires, even if it's not your purpose, it works. It does work. The same way that, like, I've my my childhood, my stories. We're not going to talk about that. But let's say that it's not good. And all those years, all those years of hearing people tell me how I cannot speak, I cannot talk, people can't understand me, people can't hear me. Like, I back, I have so many memories of how open I was, how I was yapping all the time, I was around people all the time. And it's like some, like, along the way, someone lied to me. Someone told me that no, like, you're just, those people were just polite. They didn't actually want you to be there. They weren't having fun. They were just polite. This person actually thinks something bad about you. I can feel it. Don't be around them. And then it started into this, like, all of your interests are sort of like dumb, like, don't talk about them. And then it got into when, I was getting more and more introverted because of the things that I was hearing from my family, which basically, just discouraged me and discouraged me and discouraged me for so many years to actually talk, to go out there, to connect with someone. And then when I got to that point, it was like, oh, you're so shy, you can't talk, you're this, you're that. And I started to even more internalize that and believe that. And these are all affirmations. These are all affirmations, and what happens, you manifest them. At some point, I was I would have anxiety attacks before interviews. I would sometimes just not go to interviews because I was so scared, because I was like, no, I cannot talk, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, people don't like me, blah, 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 blah. All these things. When I go out with people, with friends, like people who they're not treating me badly, they're not doing anything, they're actually showing signs that they want to talk with me. My head is like, no, they don't want to talk with me. There is something that I'm missing, and I end up not really talking with people because of my own limitations, because of my own trauma, because I am clinging on to so many things that my parents told me, that I just, at some point, when you repeat something, or someone repeats it to you over and over and over again, at some point you just think that it's a rule. It's true. It's not an opinion. This is just life. This is who you are. And it took me so long. It took me 25 years. Okay. Or to be fair, I guess 15? Yeah, 15. To like remember the times when I was a kid, to remember actually who I was before all of those bad things were said to me and repeated. And at some point, I realized, like, no, no, I actually love talking. I actually love people. I've always loved people. I've always loved being around people. All of my hobbies, all of my dreams, all of the things that I've always like wanted to try, wanted to do, they all revolve around a lot of people, helping a lot of people, having a big community. I went off a weird tangent here, but it's still a good example of negative manifestations. That's why I said in the beginning, even if you don't believe in manifestations, even if you think that they're not real, you are doing it 24/7. What you're thinking, that becomes a reality. If you are thinking all the time that you're ugly, at some point you're going to stop taking care of yourself the same way that you used to before. You're not going to feel pretty, even if like someone comes and they give you this amazing haircut and amazing makeup and they put you in the best clothes ever. You're still going to look in the mirror and you're going to think, no, no, I'm ugly. This is weird, my nose is weird, my lips are weird, you know? Or EDs are a good example. You can have an amazing body, you can look so great, so beautiful, so strong, and everyone else sees it, right? Everyone else sees your current body, how you really look, but you're not seeing it. You have repeated so many, many, many times. You affirmed it so many times that you're ugly, that you're fat, that this part of your body is too fat or too thin or too bony or whatever. Now, this is the reality that you live in. This is what you see in the mirror. And this is you, all the actions, all your plans, you plan them accordingly. You change your habits, you change your diet, your workouts, when, how you go outside, the clothes that you wear, everything changes. How you talk with people, how you communicate, because of that belief that you have. Smart is a very good example. Have you heard from so many people, they want to do something, they want to get a specific job, they want to learn something, they want to go to university, they have a talent, like everyone tells them that they have a natural talent for it, and they've always wanted to do it, they've always wanted to get into that, but they never do. And what do they always say? I'm too stupid for that. I'm not lucky enough. I I'm not I'm not that type of person. We have like these type of people and they succeed, but I'm that type of person and we don't succeed. Like people just put themselves in those boxes and they just believe something and they don't try. They think that they're too stupid. They're too stupid for that job. They're too stupid for that hobby. They're stopping themselves from even trying, from even learning, because that is how much they believe that they're stupid. This is not a person who is starting from a clean slate where they're like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm stupid. I don't know if I'm smart. I don't know if I'm super intelligent, but let me try it. This is a person who maybe their parents, maybe their friends, maybe a partner, they themselves also, like over and over and over again, they just repeated the affirmation, I am stupid, I'm stupid, I'm not good for anything, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not worth it. It has a gigantic negative impact. So even if you don't want to believe in, the scripting letters, all of those things, like the things that you actually can physically do, if you don't want to get into that, at least be aware that manifestation is real. Your thoughts are real, whichever lens you want to look at it through. You feel like you can't talk about manifestation, you have an allergy towards those kinds of communities, then, like I said, just look at it as neuroscience or psychology. Other things can go in very weird, very wrong directions if you're not careful with the energy that you're putting out there, because it does matter. In the end, there is someone who is listening. I don't know if this is God for you, which God it is. I don't know if this is the universe. For me personally, it is both. I have a very interesting idea of how the universe is made, but have fun with it. Manifest cool things. Believe that it will happen. Believe that it is happening. Don't resist it. Don't resist positive things in your life. No matter if you're going through it from that perspective or you want to go through more psychology based things, like take care of yourself and of your dreams and go out there and do things. Do the things that you want because they will inevitably lead you to whatever you desire. It's not always going to be in the same exact way that you imagine it, in the same exact path, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Whatever you want, the signal is out there. Let the universe do its thing. It may come from people you never expected it to come from, places you never expected it to come from. The world is very big, the world is giant. Things don't just happen in a very specific way. This is your own limitation. Just let the universe do its thing. Even when you feel like things are maybe not working, someone's not listening to you, just keep going. That is literally the only thing you have to do. Just keep going. And at some point, little by little, you'll see it. It's like you're playing a game and, the map, you're just discovering it. It's all dark, but little by little, some of the areas they begin to highlight. I don't know if that's correct, if that's English. Yeah, whatever. I wanted to make this video because I just felt cold, like someone needs to hear it, or maybe I needed to hear it. I'm not sure. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry. I'm very sorry. That was very rude of me. My name is Callie. So, yeah, now we know each other. Tell me your name. And stay safe. Stay safe and goodbye and have fun with the manifestations. Don't ask for stupid things. Ask for fun things, good things that will benefit you and the people around you. Because that is what life is about. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. He's so small. He's so small. Ooh.